Kenya. Hey guys, hello.
How are you guys doing? Let's make this happen. We got everybody calling in from all the way from El Paso, Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't even know how to say that one, but it looked like Ottawa. 613, what's going on? Sugarland, Sacramento, El Paso, what's going on? Kenya, let's go. Well, we're excited. We see that this is actually filling up pretty fast. We want to go ahead and if you haven't already, get yourself into a place where you can take some copious notes. Get yourself closed off to all distractions, and definitely inside of your chat groups, inside of your Telegrams, inside of your WhatsApps, your group meets, go ahead and tell people to hop on the call. Give them this link, let them know, because you're going to actually get the information needed to be a part of that next wave. All right, so definitely go ahead. We're going to give this call another minute to just go ahead and get those things in place. Absolutely. And we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. Ottawa, Canada, let's go. All right, let's go.
We got
Canada, let's do it.
Dallas. Welcome, guys. Can you all hear us? I know we got somebody that says sound. We got LA. If you guys can hear us, can you drop the number 1 in the chat? If you can hear us, drop the number 1. Perfect. Awesome. Great. I'm so happy you guys can hear this perfectly fine. You said another minute, babe.
So we got it. Perfect. So look, we're excited to be on. This is we've asked to actually serve the field today. Absolutely. And this is my boo. If you guys don't know, introduction of who we are. My name is DL Woods.
And I'm Quiana Woods.
And so far, man, we've been in this industry 11 years now. We've been in network marketing, home-based business, multi-level marketing. All of those terms are synonymous with each other for 11 years. And so we want to just give you guys all of the information that we have accumulated in a short period of time. And today our topic of discovery or topic of talk is going to be,
we got 3 things for you guys. How to recruit your partner.
Absolutely.
So for you guys that have a partner, you have a spouse, maybe they're in the business, they're not in the business, we want them to be in the business. We're going to go over some things to help you with that. If you guys are single and you don't have somebody in the business, but you have teammates,
right?
You have teammates that have partners that they want in the business, you definitely want to take notes about how to help them actually recruit your partner, how to recruit your partner. That's something we're going to cover. We're also going to cover working your strengths, and we're going to cover how to network. So those are the 3 things we're going to be covering tonight on tonight's call. So you definitely want to make sure you're taking notes, get your pen, get your paper, get yourself in a quiet space so you can actually be in this place. I ask you, if nothing else, that you be very, very present for the next few minutes that we're together, because I believe that this information will definitely help you guys, whether you are a partner or you're single with a team of partners, right? So, babe, how you want to kick that off? You ready?
I want you to go ahead, kick that off. Kick that off, because that is definitely your topic.
This is my topic. So how to recruit your partner. So this is big, guys, to understand. Like my husband has said, we've been in this industry for 11 years. We got started when we were 19 years old. He was 18.
I was 18.
19 years old, we got started in this industry. And we were definitely friends, but and we've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of wins, some lows, some highs, just normal business things that people go through. And when I Am Mastery Academy came to us, I'll be honest with you guys, I was completely against it. I was not interested in actually being with this company or even learning trading or anything.
She was against
networking.
The industry at all.
I didn't want to do anything networking at all. And I always like to give myself a pass and say it was a good reason behind it. We had made a 6-figure income, and the very next year lost it. Everything was gone, the company was gone, and it sent me in a place of depression. So I'll be very honest and transparent with you guys. It sent me in a place of depression where I was like, I do not want to be in that industry anymore. And I couldn't even see the value of trading. I couldn't see the value of Forex. I didn't want to see it. I was just like, babe, we're not doing that. And so my husband got involved. And babe, you can go and share that portion. You actually getting involved with this.
So it was definitely not the popular vote to actually get started, because number one, she had PTSD from network marketing, right? You actually fall from 6 figures and you have a 6-figure lifestyle, and that gap, like we say all the time, is called depression. And so we had to start getting things repoed, right? We had got our bed repoed, we got our couch repoed, car, and so we lost a lot just being these. It's funny now, but these are real situations, guys. And so what happened was, this opportunity came when we were just filming. We were filming other people in network marketing, right? And so we did a video for a couple buddies of ours, and then all of a sudden David Emanite saw that video and knew that he was making a transition. And what happened was he called us to do another video, which was the official the IML presentation video, the very first one. And so after editing the video, I said to myself, man, this is something that I want to do. I kept hearing over and over again, make money with or without recruiting.
Absolutely.
I didn't have to sell anything. I didn't have to recruit anybody, but I could learn the skill set. And so I came to her and I said, you know what, baby, this is something that looks like we want to do. I want to do it. And she said, no.
I said, no. I said, absolutely not.
And I said this to myself. I never have to ask permission to provide for my family.
Absolutely.
Currently, we were doing photography and videography. And sometimes as a husband, as a man, you have to make that decision. Like, why am I asking permission to provide for my family, right? I'm supposed to be the provider. I'm supposed to be the person that actually bring home the bacon. She's just supposed to cook it, right? And if you're vegan, bring home tofu. But the end of all was that was my position. I don't need to ask permission to play my position. And so one thing that happened was I made the decision outside of her wanting to co-sign it, right? And so it turned out to, of course, to be the best decision, because I believe in this principle. There's no such thing as a right or wrong decision. You make a decision, and then you make that decision the right decision. Absolutely. And so when I made the decision to say, you know what, I am going to do this, no matter who, not even my spouse, is going to co-sign it, I have to make this the right decision. So I got to get in here in the IM Academy, and I got to learn this thing. But she said something with, if you know anything about the women of African-American descent, the attitude of them. And what happened was, she said, so you mean to tell me you're going to have 165 coming out our house every single month? Well, I told her initially, I am not going to be building the business. I only want to learn how to trade. But they had a 2 and free, which was the setup. The setup was 2 and free. So you got a builder now. You got a builder who's built to 6 figures. You got a builder now picking up the phone to get to 2 and free. People are just now starting to say yes, because my level of passion, my level of dogmatic thinking, I'm like, hey, listen, I basically was letting people know, hey, listen, I'm not there yet. This is kind of like you going me deciding with my homeboy, I want to go to the gym. You know, hey man, I'm not there yet. I want you to partner with me so we can get sexy together. You know what I'm saying? So we can learn this skill set together. That's my mentality I was coming from. Excellent. And then all of a sudden people were just saying yes. And then all of a sudden we went to the point to where now we are, we got Platinum 600, Platinum 1000, 2000. And then she came home at Platinum 5000.
So here was, I wanted you guys to understand the background of, number one, why I said no. Number two, what his mindset was, because I think it's extremely important when you're dealing with a partner. If you guys have a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you want them to be in the business, and you are really just considering how can I get them in the business, I need you guys to understand a few principal keys. So we're talking about how to recruit your partner. One of the biggest things, and I need you guys to write this down, do not compare your partner to somebody in the business.
No.
Meaning, don't go home and say, hey, honey, there's another guy that does this in the business. Or for him to come home and say, babe, there's a lady in the business that does this, and I think you should be doing this. Or, you know, this guy's wife does this, or this woman's husband does this. Do not do that. That is rule number one. Write that down. Do not compare your spouse to anyone or tell them that you want them to be like anyone in the business, no matter how inspiring, how amazing that person is. Don't do that. That's one thing you don't want to do. So please write that down. Do not compare your spouse to somebody in the business that you want them to be like. That is very deflating. You're actually going to prolong getting your partner started by doing stuff like that. You got to think about, if somebody is not getting involved with you in business, if your partner is not getting involved with you in business, it does not help to then come say, hey, if you were like this person, then we probably would be doing well. Mm-hmm. That's a no-no. So let's write that down. Let's not do that. We're not going to compare our partners to anybody in the business, right? Anything you want to say on that, babe?
No. Let's
okay. The next thing, in your mindset, number 2, they are not holding you back. Your spouse not being in the business is not holding you back. Oftentimes we've heard people say, if my wife or if my husband would do this with me, then I would be able to do this. That's not true. If you haven't made the decision to believe in your own skill sets, your own goals, your own dreams, they are not going to believe in you, and they're not going to help you get anywhere any faster just by saying yes. It starts with you. Now that goes back, and that's really big, to DL. See, what DL did was, for a whole year, guys, I was not involved in the business. I just watched. I just looked. I was working a job. Just listening. I was just looking. And he was working this business, but he was not waiting on me to get in the business to say what next level he was going to get to. He was actually working the plan, talking to people, doing the I Am Master Academy, actually learning the skill, actually getting profits and results. He was not waiting on, oh, if my wife was here, then we would get to Platinum 5,000 faster, or we would get to Chairman faster. He was just doing the work.
Absolutely.
So they are not holding you back.
But here's the deal. You got to understand, during this time, I want to give you guys the real behind the scenes. During this time, we hit Platinum 600. We hit Platinum 600. I'm making $600 a month. Cute. Right? Platinum 1,000. Okay, well, go ahead, Sparky type of situation. Platinum 2,000 is when we actually got to the point where she was like, okay, hold on, this dude is really, really building. And so you have, like I said, you have to show results before somebody buy into your vision. I don't know what you guys believe in, but sometimes God gives Adam the vision, and then you have to teach it to Eve, right? Mm-hmm. Or it may be vice versa sometimes. He may give the vision to Eve, and you as Adam have to go ahead and follow later on. But the thing was, once I started showing the results, 2,000, 5,000, when we hit 5,000, this is when she said, you know what, it's past being real. Is now the fact of, I'm ready to come home so I can actually work with you to go ahead and get to that next level. And I stayed Platinum 5,000 for an entire year. Once she got home, we actually, I think it was maybe 4 to 5 months after she got home to where we actually hit the position of chairman, which is January of 2019, right? And so with that being said, guys,
so that's number 3.
That's number 3.
Show results. Mm-hmm. Now this is big. So we've already, don't compare. They are not holding you back. The third thing is show results. See, this is big. If you have a partner that hears you talk about your dreams, hear you talking about where you're going to be, where you're going to go, what you want to do, the next position that you're going to hit. Right. You're going to these meetings. You're doing these trainings. They want to see results.
Right.
They want to see results. My husband said something so amazing in our group the other day. He said, God will not bless the work you pretend to do.
Absolutely.
God will not bless the work you pretend to do. A lot of times we pretend like we're doing something. See, there's a difference between being busy and being productive. There's a difference between being busy and productive. We always talk about money making time, things that you're doing. Mm-hmm. What are you doing in the time? And if you're not getting results and you're just saying, hey babe, we're going to the top. We're going to be chairman. We're going to make it. And she comes home or he comes home and you're sitting on the couch.
You're on the video game.
You're on the video game. You're you're on social media, just scrolling, not actually talking to anybody, not doing anything, just scrolling. It used to be funny. We laugh about it now, but you think about it, your spouse, especially if you do this full time and your spouse works, think about how it feels like a parent. When your parents used to go to work and come home and you'll be sitting in the same spot, looking the same way that you did when they left in the summer. Y'all remember getting fussed at for looking the exact same?
And the house wasn't clean?
And the house wasn't clean. The dishes weren't done. You remember those things?
What have you been doing?
What have you been doing?
While I was gone.
That's how it feels. So you have to show results. Get results. You know, Mr. David always talks about talking to 2 people a day, getting your 2 contacts a day, having a goal of what are you doing every single day to actually go through your numbers, taking up your batting average, making sure that you're getting results.
Absolutely.
And the next thing is believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in you. See, that's one of the most attractive things to me about my husband. Mm-hmm. That's one of the most attractive things. And that's because his belief in his self, his belief in his abilities is amazing. And you got to realize that type of energy attracts that more energy, more belief. When you believe in yourself, it attracts more belief. So if your spouse starts seeing you actually believe that this is going to work.
Right.
I mean, they're seeing you write stuff on the mirror. Mm-hmm. They're seeing your goals posted up around the house. And let me say, just for laughs, it took a long time for me to be okay with him messing up the decor of my home by posting stuff around the house. But it's a must. It's necessary. It's necessary. And when you see that, you start seeing your spouse will start getting engulfed in what you see.
Make sure that when you are writing down your goals, you include your spouse in those goals as well. Because that's very, very big. I'm not going to be able to support your picture if I'm not in it.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? And so one thing you got to understand is anytime I would write down what our goal is, I would talk about how their goal will actually supply our future together. I would be able to, Key gets retired at this amount. You know what I'm saying? That type of situation. And so it tugs, it pull. Here's the deal. When you're recruiting your partner, you have to sell the dream, right? Mm-hmm. And if they're not buying the dream, sell the nightmare. Really? I'm gonna be honest with her. Sometimes we had those hard conversations when it was like me going out to meetings and stuff like that. I would literally be out there painting the vision, selling the dream. Mm-hmm. And when it was time to have those hard conversations, sometimes I was like, well, what if you really have to do this for the next 40 years and I don't make it? Mm. Would you rather me stop now and you continue doing what you do for the next 40 years? Mm. So if you're not selling the dream, sometimes they'll buy the nightmare. If they're not buying the dream, sell the nightmare. Okay. And so one thing you have to continue to do is believe in yourself and believe in the opportunity. Because here's the deal. Anytime you're prospecting, even if it's your spouse or somebody else, the person who's the most confident over a period of time will win. Absolutely. The person who is confident over a period of time will win. You got to be confident in yourself and you got to be confident in your opportunity, right? And so I remember all the time when you have different people that that was in different network marketing companies. We will attempt to recruit one another, but I would consistently post our results, post everything that we were doing. And then all of a sudden you will see those people start inquiring more about what it is that I was doing. And I never inquired about what they were doing. Yeah. Right? So you got to be consistent over a period of time.
Got to be consistent. So just going back to believing in yourself, guys, and writing down your vision, writing down your goals around the house that include your partner. We've had business partners that went a whole year just writing down he would write down his password and his login to his back office every single day at home so that his wife could see it. And he would leave her a note that said, "This is the key to your freedom." Mm-hmm. He would leave that for her every single day.
Shout out Gold member.
Right? And Mr. Fabian, he would write on the wall, write 10 things you're grateful for today. Everything that he was learning, He was writing that stuff down for her to actually practice. So you guys got to understand, his wife now is pushing the business probably harder than him. Mm. And she's more adamant now. And that took a year of just seeing him sow the seeds of including her in the dream, including her in the vision, and leaving her the tools on how to get there. So those were a couple of things. Want to make sure you guys wrote that down for you guys that just joined us. Just a quick recap on recruiting your partner. Do not compare your partner to anybody in the organization or anybody in the business. That's a no-no. They are not holding you back. So the excuse of my partner is keeping me from getting to the next level. If they would join me, I would be here. Please throw that away. Show results. Get results. Stop thinking they're going to believe in something that you have no results from. Okay. And believe in yourself, and they will see it eventually. They will see it. Believe in yourself. And even if they have their own careers, their own dreams, and they do not want to partner with you in this venture, it's okay. They still love you and support you. And you got to make sure that, see, it's all about your heart. You got to make sure that just because they may not want to do what you're doing doesn't mean that you can't still support what they're doing.
Right.
You got to be okay with saying, this is my dream. I would love for my partner to be with me, but if they're not, I'm still going to support what my partner is doing as well. Mm-hmm. Because I want to teach them how to treat me. I want to teach them how to support me in my dream. And so I can't just say, hey, support me in this business, and I won't even support them in their job. Mm-hmm. You have to feed what you want, sow what you want. You'll get it back, I promise. Next thing is working your strengths. When you do have your partner in the business, your partner has said yes, y'all are now working together, you guys are about to take it to the next level. Absolutely. Now we got to work our strengths. So this is our second topic, working your strengths. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, you got to find out what you both are good at.
Right.
Y'all are going to be good at different things. Y'all can be able to do the same thing, like train to be able to do the same things, but y'all are going to have different strengths. Mm-hmm. You can go over some of your strengths, babe.
Some of I can adapt to any environment and I can present, right? So typically, I'm the person that's going to go ahead and do a presentation no matter how many people are in the room or how many people are not in the room, because I practice just by talking to my couches, mm-hmm. right? That's where my training grounds were, me talking to the couches. When I was doing presentations in the beginning, when I was learning and developing my own presentation, I would talk to the couches. So no matter how many people are in the room, I'm doing the presentation with everything I got. So if nobody responds, if nobody laughs, I'm already cool with it. I already know how to actually thrive in an area with zero energy. So that is my training ground. So that was one area. Another area is closing deals. Now she right here, this is a closer as well, but she's also a planner. Me personally, anybody on my team that asks me what date, I say, stop. That's a Quiana Woods question. Right? That's a Quiana Woods question. Because listen, I get my orders of where I'm supposed to be. I show up and we perform. That's what it is.
And that's big. So you got to know your strengths. For me, guys, I'm the planner. I'm the person that will say, let's write down in the calendar what's going on. If it's not in the calendar, it's probably not happening. Mm-hmm. And so if that's your strength, if that's your spouse's strength, whoever strength that is planning, let them have that role.
Flow.
And it's really big, guys, that you let each other flow in your roles. Mm-hmm. Don't attempt to cross and take over somebody else's role. Just keep your roles, flow at what you're good at. Now, unless Dia asks me, hey, Quiana, can you present? Can you get up? Can you do something? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take that role. I'm good at it. I don't think I'm bad at it at all.
She's great at edification and she's great at doing a presentation. So,
but I know that he has a very great job. He does a very great job at sharing the vision consistently. I like to call myself a chameleon at times. Depending on the room, depending on the field, my presentation can change for the room. Most people's can. But he has one that's very consistent. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So him getting up and doing it over and over and over again, it's amazing. That's his role. So finding your roles. What are your strengths? Who's good at making sure the kids are good?
Yes.
Who's good at making sure travel is booked? Who's good at doing quick starts? Who's good at doing training calls? Who's good? Who has that patience? Definitely identifying when you have your partner, who's good at what. Another big thing, guys, if you have a couple on your team, always make sure that you connect the wife with the wife, the husband with the husband.
Man, that right there just saved a lot of men. That just saved a lot of men. A lot of women too. But that right there, because women can relate to another woman. You don't want to be telling the woman, yo, you just don't want it hard enough or bad enough. Like, that is just not a role for a man to tell another woman. You just don't want it bad enough. But coming from a woman, it will definitely hit home, because they'll say it with that velvet hammer that she has. She is like punching you in the stomach with just like the most pleasant punch. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that happens. You got to connect the woman with the woman, the husband with the husband. And so that right there, it saves a lot of people. And guess what? The reason why we focus on building couple relationships is typically what happens is, you go through the vicissitudes of business, the ups and downs in business. And so sometimes one partner will want to quit while the other partner is just getting going, right? So that person will feed off of this person's belief. And then sometimes you just need to, the roles will switch. I will may be out of it and she may just be closing a prospect. And so sometimes it's harder for both of them to quit at the same time, because you never know. That balance is what's powerful. That balance is powerful. So we women speak a different language. Absolutely, y'all do.
And so it's super important to make sure you do that. Now, some people have, you're single. You're single, you have women on your team, maybe you're a male. If you have a top producing woman,
link them up.
It's okay to say, hey, this is the lady on the team, somebody that you can trust, that has integrity, that you can connect. You want to connect your women together. There are women that call my husband. There are men that call me.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, and I think this is just important to understand. When women call him, he'll say, hey, babe, such and such called me. And even if she wants to talk to him, guess what I'm going to do? Hey, how you doing? Hope you have a good day. Talk to you later. Back.
Absolutely.
Same thing. The other come over and say, hey, bro, how you doing? And because we understand that we have different gifts. When we talk to people, we pull out different things. We deliver things differently. But it's just a respect thing. So that is really big, that you have that respect, especially when you're working your strengths, okay?
Absolutely.
The next thing that we said we were going to cover, and it is the final thing that we'll be covering tonight. What do you say after you say, hey, I'll get back here? The next thing that we'll be covering is how to network. This will be extremely big on how to network. I'll let you get started with this one, babe.
So you got offline marketing and you got online marketing. Networking is just building a net that works, right? When I talk about building a net that works, it's always relationships, right? Building relationships, whether that is, some relationships aren't developed within 30 seconds. Some take time. Some takes seed time harvest. You don't reap sometimes in the same season that you actually sowed in. So there are some people that actually I developed a relationship in one company, but because the relationship, the same guy, Fabian, right? Same guy, Fabian. I met him in one company and he was on a totally different team, right? However, I brought him into the fold that we were actually running meetings in Houston. And so what happened was things happened, and because of the relationship that was built, he actually followed us into another company, right? We worked side by side in another company. So when it comes to online and offline, you got to understand online marketing is new, right? Online marketing is effective. Online marketing is very, very attractive. But what happens is this: don't put all of your business online, right? And that's actually a sermon. That's actually a sermon. Don't put all your business online, right? But here's the deal. You got to understand there are companies like Amway, Primerica, so many legacy companies that were built prior to the internet even being a thing. It's all based off of relationships. And guess what? Some of those companies are still around today, and they really don't do a lot of online marketing. Because why? Relationships are important. Relationships are important.
So this is important when networking, online or offline. And again, we're being specific to couples, because we want you guys to understand it's a strong foundation.
Right.
Anybody can build a business, but we just want you guys to understand this. If you meet somebody online, male, female, and they're married, you definitely want to say, hey, can I talk to you and your wife, or you and your husband? You want to talk to both, even offline. A lot of times when we do one-on-ones or two-on-ones, we want to meet with both. Here's why. If you come tell me about the business, you come tell me what it is, you now leave it in my hands to go home and attempt to effectively communicate what you just said to my spouse.
And it took you 6 months to learn the presentation. And you expect her to go ahead within a matter of an hour to remember everything.
And go talk. And it's not okay. So a lot of times what happens is when you...
A one-legged appointment.
We call a one-legged appointment. You go speak to somebody that's in a relationship, married, and you give them your best, right? And then they tell you, I need to speak to my spouse.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I need to speak to my spouse. And then you're just waiting for them to effectively communicate with urgency something that you should have done with both of them. So it is imperative when you're online talking to somebody, piquing somebody's interest, to find out if they're married, and then talking to both and picking up the phone, guys. When we talk to people online, we meet a lot of people online. But here's the thing that we do, and maybe we're old school, but it works. Yeah. We still ask for a phone number. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your voice, because you cannot feel my energy through text.
No matter how many emojis you use.
You can't feel it. You can't feel my voice inflection, my tone. You can't feel any of that through a text message.
Not even all caps.
Right, you're just yelling at me. I don't understand what's going on. So it's important that you get people's numbers. Set times to talk to people. When you are piquing somebody's interest online, set a time to actually talk with them. We say this is big. People respect appointments. Okay? Don't just say, hey, hit me up later.
That's whack.
No, or hit me up today or tomorrow. No, I need a time. Hey, what works best for you? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Successful people set appointments.
Set appointments. They're going to tell you Tuesday or Wednesday. Then give them 2 time options. Does evening or morning work for you?
Evening, 6 or 8. Which one? Let's go.
You find out get those appointments narrowed down when you're talking to somebody and piquing their interest online, as well as offline. When you're meeting somebody, always we say book a meeting from a meeting. So if you meet somebody just to do a one-on-one, your goal is to be booking them to the very next event or a next meeting, a call, something else that you have going on, because they need to see this information maybe 3 times, 3 to 5 times. They may just need to see it over and over again. So you want to continue to be booking a meeting from a meeting.
Absolutely. Somebody just said it. Bam,
bam, bam.
And so online marketing, guys, like we always talk about it. Yes, you got to have this thing. So in business, when you're marketing, right, you got to have a good product. But if you have a good product and nobody knows about it, you just have a good product that nobody knows about. So therefore, you're not generating revenue. To be in a situation where now your product becomes a brand. You have to brand not only yourself, but the company as well, right? We've branded ourselves. We branded our team. We branded the company, right? So at any different lane, we can thrive in, right? People understand that we are Chairman 25 in the I Am Mastery Academy. People understand that we are DL and Quiana Woods. People also understand that we are representing just one team inside of the big team of I Am Mastery Academy of the Winner Circle, right? So we actually branded multiple things. And so as that brand, you're going to take things online and offline. You got to have an online game and an offline game. We actually always use this reference that it's like football. You can't just run the ball all the time. You got to have an air game and you got to have a ground game, because we know that sometimes when you go in the air, you can go further faster, right? And so that right there is, you can expand your territory, right? But the thing is that you want to build in your backyard. Build in your backyard, right? Don't go ahead and say, you know what, if we could just we're going to open up Budapest, right? And you won't build in Beaumont. Let me go ahead and open up Paris, right? But you won't build in Pearland, right? You want to say, let's go to Hong Kong, but you just won't build in Houston. This is something that you want to make sure that you build it in your backyard all the time, because what happens, and I hate it when this happened in the beginning of my career, all of a sudden, I was not focusing on my warm market, right? That's the thing that you got to understand. Warm market, the people who you know and they know you, calling those people, get through those people first, because you would hate to see your auntie sign up with somebody like myself. And trust me, I will sign up your auntie. And all of a sudden she becomes the next chairman, right? In 90 days. You would hate that. So make sure you're calling everybody in your organization. I mean, everybody in your warm market. Yep. And me personally, your warm market is everybody you've known for years, right? Since you were born. I called my 7th grade homeboy who was actually on the basketball team. And his name was Brandon Thompson. Brandon Thompson recruited his little brother named Bryce Thompson. And you guys know how that has matriculated since then. But have you called your 7th grade homeboy and talked to them about your business? That is the question. When people say, I've talked to everybody, you haven't went to kindergarten. You haven't went to 1st grade. You haven't went to 3rd grade. You haven't went to 7th grade. And so, go ahead.
Here's some ideas. Here's some ideas for you guys to write down when you're talking about talking to your warm market. And I don't care how many things you have done. It does not matter how many businesses you've been in. We have been in over 7. Sorry, I took it. 7. We've been in over 7 different businesses. Here's the thing. People have had over 7 different jobs.
Absolutely.
That doesn't stop them from talking to somebody about their new job. They're still excited about their new job. So stop getting embarrassed if you've had to go to a different company or if you've had to do something new and something didn't work. It doesn't matter. Okay? But when you're talking to your warm market, let me get some of those things turning in your head. A couple, like you said, have you talked to your elementary classmates? Have you talked to your middle school classmates, your high school classmates? See, it doesn't matter if you were popular or not. Have you talked to them? Just listen. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You just got to actually talk to the people. Now, I don't think I'm the only person that comes from a big family, but I'm sure you have family members, aunties, cousins, uncles, somebody, they have friends. And if you have a good relationship, and this is big, we tell people network marketing will either reward you for your reputation or it will expose you for your reputation. So
prior to who you are getting involved with.
Prior to who you are. So if you got in this business and you start calling people and they start lashing out at you or they start treating you a certain way, you got to look in the mirror and see, who was I before this business or any networking business that people don't want to deal with me?
Because people only do business with people that they like, love, trust, or respect, or feel like they can take them somewhere.
Absolutely.
So if you don't fall in on one of those categories, then why am I doing business with you? I don't like you. I don't trust you. I don't feel like you can take me nowhere. I'm not dealing with you. I like the product. I'm signing up with somebody else.
Exactly. So just again, making sure you're going through your warm market. If you have family members, maybe you've exposed them to this business, ask for referrals. It costs you absolutely nothing to say, hey, cousin, I'm doing this business. Do you know 2 or 3 people that will be interested in just listening to what I have? Are you willing to refer 2 to 3 people? 2 to 3, that's it. Just refer 2 to 3 people.
Absolutely.
If they're willing to do that, and do that with each family member, do it. What the most you can lose is nothing.
Listen, the worst thing that can happen in network marketing is you hear no. The worst thing that can happen as a firefighter is you don't come home. So you gotta be in a situation to where you gotta say, you know what? No ain't gonna kill me.
It's not.
No ain't gonna kill me. I'm gonna literally allow myself to go ahead and continue to go through the no's. One of my mentors in my very first network marketing company, we visited his home and it was about 10,000 square feet. I asked him, how much does this cost? He said about 10,000 no's. It cost 10,000 no's. He gave me his square footage, but in no's. And so I said to myself, I want to get to the point to where no doesn't hurt me, but it promotes me, because no just means not right now.
Yep.
Right? Or you're not the right person yet. There are some people that said no to me at Platinum 5,000. They said no to me at Chairman 10. But when we got Chairman 25, all right, I'm ready to get started.
Yep.
We had to grow to become the right person. Sometimes you're so close to where people can't see you taking them further than where you currently are. If we're peers, why am I about to get started with you? Submit to your leadership if we are peers, right? And so even in that, even in marketing, even in going into your warm market, there are certain ways that you actually have to talk to certain people. 18 to 25, the verbiage, the conversation is totally different from one that is 50 plus. Absolutely. 18 to 25, they haven't cemented their selves, they haven't stuck their teeth into their career yet. They're actually searching, they're looking for something. Hey, how about you in the beginning of time? Before you expose to the nasty world, pretty much, before life gets real, let's go ahead and show you this skill set where you can make money and you'll be able to give yourself a raise. So before you're actually able to be denied a raise, you have the ability to make your own money. Before you graduate, you have the ability to say, you know what, if I get hired in my career, cool. If not, cool. I know how to make my own money. If somebody is 25 to 30, right? That 25 to 30 crowd, they've already experienced what being an adult is about. They own their own, they out of the house, they out of mama house, they actually paying bills. They realize that paying bills, my income when I was at my mama house, it don't stretch the same. I got stuff called groceries, Lord. And so one thing I got to do is I got to make more money, right? I know that my JOB stands for just on bills, right, at this point. So one thing that I got to do is I got to make more money. So in this situation, I'm showing people, listen, we've been able over the last 2 years and 11 months of building this business, actually trading. We've shown people how to go about making money from their phone so they can just multiply what they currently have at their job. They multiply what they currently have at their job. Now, when they multiply what they currently have at their job, it just produced another situation for them. Right? I tell people all the time, what you do from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., that's going to actually provide the lifestyle you currently have. But what you do from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. the next morning, that's going to give you the lifestyle that you truly desire.
So make sure you guys are writing this down. He said 18 to 25, your language to them is basically before life gets real. So when you're talking to them as a place of, you haven't figured out what you want yet. Here's an avenue. So you want to write that down. 18 to 25 is before life gets real. We're just talking about options, okay? The next thing, 25 to 30 is where he just was. This is, you know how people say mess up before you 30?
Oh, yeah, you got to mess up before you're 30.
Mess up before you're 30.
You don't do something good before you're 30.
Now, that's a funny statement, but you're talking to somebody because before 30, you're still, like he said, you're still figuring out that, hey, I need more money. I'm not really sure how to do it. So you're letting them know, hey, you're not even 30 yet. You're not 30 yet.
Yeah, people got life things they want to do. I want to buy a house, I want to get married, all that type of stuff before I'm 30.
Let's focus on getting you prepared to be able to have a skill that you understand so that you can save up your own money to have your down payment for your dream home or your first home, or to be prepared for that wedding or stuff like that. So you're having a different conversation for your 25 to 30. The next group is your 30 to 50. I have recently just jumped in the 30 crowd. All right.
I'm not. But I'm 4 months. March. I'll be
right. So I just got over here. So I'm now in the preparing for retirement group. This is your preparation for retirement group. You're talking to this group about how to actually either get off their job or be able to live life more effectively.
Yeah, in that early 30 group, especially, you want to talk to them about some of the things that they are experiencing. Right? We always talk about forming. Whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm gonna do family. FORM.
Write that down.
Family, occupation, recreation, money, or message or ministry. M stands for money, message, or ministry, right? Family. Hey, how's the family going, bro? You know what I'm saying? How the wife doing? How the kids doing? I always ask about the kids because I need to know their ages, right? What their ages will determine what kind of experiences are they in. Are they doing sports? Are they doing, ballet or whatever the case may be, right? And from there, I need to know your occupation. You still at the job. You still doing what you've been doing, man. You've been working there. You've been working at Foot Locker for 12 years. I mean, you must be making all the money, right? I go up. When I jump over R, I go to M. Man, you must be making all the money.
So pause. write this down, because he's talking about form. Actually, when you're talking to somebody and catching up with them or asking questions, you don't have to kick people's castles down
to build yours
to build your own. You don't have to say, oh, that job sucks.
No way.
Oh, working sucks. Stop doing that. You are turning people off. They know it sucks. They know
build
it sucks.
them up.
They know it sucks when they get up every morning and have to do it. They are aware of that. But you want to let them know, hey, you know, like he said, he's asking questions like, you must be making all the money.
Yeah, you've been there for 12 years. You must be making all the money. I take them to all the money. They'll bring themselves right back down to just enough.
Yeah.
And so they'll tell you in that. They'll tell you in that conversation. And so then I'll go back to R, which is recreation. What are you doing recreationally? Hey, man, you still bowl? You still go shoot pool from time to time? You still ballet? You still dance? You still, you know what I'm saying, drum, whatever the case may be? And they'll tell me, nah, man, I don't play golf like that no more, man. I got so much hours I'm working at this job. I got so many responsibilities. I got to do overtime. I got to do all the time. I got to do double time, right? And so one thing that you have to listen with the intent to provide I Am Mastery Academy as their prescription. You don't go into the doctor's office and they just say, you know what, Mr. Woods, you're in here. I say, yeah, man, my wrist hurt. They say, okay, take this prescription. You'll be fine. Hold on, wait a minute. You don't even much really know what's going on. You have to ask me a certain amount of questions in order for me to feel comfortable with taking a prescription. So one thing that if I was to come in here and I say, you know what, doc, and the doctor would ask me a question, he say, well, why are you here for? Man, my wrist hurt. I'm having night sweats and my stomach is a little queasy. Man, you sound like the last 15 people that actually came in here. If you take this prescription, you'll be knocked out you'll knock that out within 3 days. I feel more comfortable because you asked me questions and you prescribed something that was tailor-made for my situation. So if you say, man, listen, I know that you got the family. I know that you got, you know, your little Tommy, little Tanya, whatever the case may be. They're in bowling, they're in dancing, or they're doing they're swimming. Man, I know that you would like to have more time with your family because I know that you're working so many hours. I don't know if this may or may not be for you, bro. This may or may not be for you, but if you had the ability to make enough money so that you can actually decrease the hours at work so you can be present for your kids, is that something that you want to look into? See, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, but you don't want to be lazy in language.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be ignorance on fire forever. Sometimes when you first getting started, you ignorance on fire. Pure excitement is what recruits people.
Yep.
But you don't want to be knowledge on ice either. You see, knowledge on ice cannot outperform ignorance on fire.
It cannot.
Right? So you want to be what's called conscious competent, and you want to be on fire with it. You want to have energy with that thing, right? So you want to make sure that you have the ability to communicate and tailor-made I Am Mastery Academy for everybody's personal needs.
And you do that using form. So if you did not write that down, the F was for family, the O was for occupation, the R was for recreation, and the M was for money, ministry,
or a message. You got some people that they have their own messaging, i.e. leave your mark. And so that may be one. You have another one, they may be in ministry, whether they have a woman's ministry,
type of
nonprofit or whatever the case may be.
So you want to find out why this fits for people.
Mm-hmm. And how they can this can improve their M, whether that be money, whether that be ministry, or whether it be their message, right? And so now you have the 55 plus crowd. They're only thinking about three things. They're thinking about their money stretching as long as they live. They're thinking about their family, and they're thinking about their health. Them the three things people thinking about at 55 plus. Thinking about my family, thinking about not running out of money, thinking about my health, right? And so you got to make sure that you're talking to them on that, man, on that space.
Talking to them in that space. So what you want to do, guys, when you're talking to people, and whether, I don't care if you like technology, keep a notepad on your phone, keep notes on your phone. But when you talk to people, keep notes on them. Mm-hmm. It matters. Even Absolutely. In this social media age, it matters when somebody knows when your birthday is. Mm-hmm. Facebook tells you when somebody's birthday is. Facts. So it takes you absolutely nothing to just say happy birthday and remember that. Create a message, inbox them and say, hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. How are the kids? What are y'all doing to celebrate? Take that time. Take that time to actually be effective in your communication. And it's okay with doing so.
Yeah, and here's one thing: when you take notes on people, you're now a professional.
Yeah.
You're now stepping into the expert levels of form, right? When you step into the expert levels of form, that's like this. Last time I talked to Quiana Woods, she was going from her job. She was in transition from her job.
Mm-hmm.
Her son had a cold, or he was actually, he had a cold, and her daughter was trying out for cheerleading, right? So when I actually call her back, 90 days, 120 days, whatever, whenever, because the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yes.
We always say, hey, listen, hey, Quiana, how's everything going? I know that the last time we talked, your daughter was trying out for cheer. How did she go? Did she make the cheerleading squad? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so you say, your son, I remember he was sick a little bit. Is he good? People thinking like, man, this person, they remembered me. Yeah. They ain't gonna think that you wrote it down. They gonna think, man, this person remembered me. And all the people in the world, they love recognition and they want to be remembered, right? So you remembered them, and then you say, you know what? How's your last 90 days been? You see, me in the last 90 days, we've been able to go from chairman 10 to chairman 25, and that's just basically, an extra $15,000 a month. But I want to make sure that you are in a position. It's a light flex. But how's the last 90 days been for you? I just call it actually how the last 19 days been. I mean, how the last 90 days been for you? And
we're talking about after you form somebody, you've met up with somebody, maybe they didn't say yes. Maybe they said no. Following up with people in 90-day cycles.
30, 60, 90 days.
30, 60, 90. Mm-hmm. Check on them 30 days, and you've taken notes so you can have a conversation. 60 days, 90 days. Keep record of when you're talking to people. And this will keep you from saying, I don't have anybody to talk to.
Absolutely.
If everybody you've talked to is not in your business, that means you have somebody to talk to. It's just time to follow up. It's time to reach back out. And it's okay to make sure that you're still adding new prospects every single day. So, guys, we are coming to a conclusion, but we definitely want to.
You want to? Yes, absolutely. You want to stay consistent. All right, let me go ahead. For the last 7 minutes, I'm going to go in a little bit. Is that okay? For the last 7 minutes, we're going to go in. All right, Red Deal Woods Farm. You want to be consistent. All right, you want to be consistent, and you don't want to compare yourself to anybody else that is in the business, right? Your time to shine is coming. Your time to shine is coming. What do I mean by that? First, one thing I want to do is I want to reference one thing that I was watching, the story about James Harden. Number one, James Harden, if you guys don't know, he actually was somebody when he first started his career, back junior high school, he was very slow, number one. We kind of still see that. He was very, very slow. He was very unorthodox, right? Left-handed, but he could shoot really good, but he was passed up over, right? He then got a little bit of coaching, a little bit of skills, and then all of a sudden he wrote something down to his mama. He wrote something down to his mama one day, and he said this, a notepad. You can actually, I'm gonna post this picture later on. He said to his mom, he wrote a letter. He said, Mom, I'm leaving early in the morning. Leave some money for me and keep this letter because I'm going to be a star. Mm-hmm. He told his mama, he put his name on it. He said, I'm going to put my mama on this. Listen, I'm going to be a star. Keep this. I'm going to be a star. So what happens is he actually dedicates 1 a.m. practices, 2 a.m. practices. He's just consistently actually out there just showing the plan, practicing his gift, perfecting his gift, refining his gift, right? And so one thing happened is all of a sudden he goes to college. He follows his coach because all of a sudden he got some offers, but he went to Arizona State. At Arizona State, he started the low beard, the very, very low beard. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't big as yet. His mama kept telling him to go ahead and cut the beard, but that's when it started. Hit the James Harden. 19 points that he was averaging, 20 points that he was averaging. However, when it came draft day, he remembered that letter that he wrote to his mom. I'm going to be a star. What happens is draft day comes, all of a sudden, first person, Blake Griffin. Second person, Embiid. Third person, James Harden to the Oklahoma City Thunder. What happens is he doesn't get drafted as a starter. He's now on the bench. He has to come off the bench. He says, you know what? In this season, this time, I'm going to come off the bench. I'm not going to be the star player right now. I'm going to come off the bench. And so what happens is he comes off the bench, and he's known as he's killing it. He has a chemistry. At this time, he's playing with Russell Westbrook, and he's playing with Kevin Durant in their budding season before they're mega stars. But he's the sixth man. He's the sixth man coming off the bench. He wins Sixth Man of the Year award. He's actually in the runnings to be an all-star. He's not quite all-star ready yet. And then all of a sudden, his contract is ending. And what happens is he get a phone call while driving from the Oklahoma City Thunder's main office, head office. And he says, you know what? The offer is $5 million less than max. You got an hour to tell us if you're going to accept it or not. Well, in that period of time, so many things going on, him driving, he doesn't make the deadline. Later on that night, he says he gets a call from his head office. And they say, man, we sorry, we love the relationship, we love the years. However, you are traded to the Houston Rockets. So not only the relationship being broken, the bond being broken between those three brothers, what was the big three for them, but now I have to relocate. I have to be reassigned. I have to be restructured, right? How many of y'all have been restructured? How many of y'all been reassigned? How many of y'all have been in a relationship with people you felt like is going to be there forever, but all of a sudden something happens to where that is no longer the situation? He now is actually drafted or traded to the Houston Rockets. Now, not as the sixth man, but as the man. You see, what happens is his transition promoted him. Wow. His transition promoted him. And then in his transition promoting him, he's now 5 years, $80 million. 5-year contract, $80 million. He's now in a position where he's in a position where he's first game, 37 points. Second game, 42 points. Man, this dude's scoring. He's doing his thing, but they don't make it past in the final things of the playoff, the final games of the playoffs, right? He's been talked about. He was criticized as not playing defense, criticized for not getting into a situation where you just a finisher. He says, you know what? I hear all the negative things, but I use those negative things to fuel my energy. I'm using those negative things to get to a place to where I can consistently work on my craft. I'm going to take the negative and turn it into positive. You know what? Every battery has a negative and a positive. You cannot have a battery that's just positive. So I need to be charged off of that negative energy sometime. So I take the negative, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into power. I work on my stuff. Top score still. It's not until in 2016 when the Rockets actually hires a new coach, puts him into a different system. Save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. I'm now going to take you from being the two guard. I'm going to change your position to where you are the point guard. You're the number one person with the ball in your hands. And now this is what happens. James Harden is now MVP. He is now the most valuable person. But what happened? He consistently built it, consistently worked on his craft, consistently, and he went through so many different little contract things. He jumped out on faith so many times. How do you leave Nike? And you know what? His decision to leave Nike was so great. $200 million to Adidas. But he kept building when all the negative was still happening. In that season, you are going to eventually pop. And I want to bring this reference real quick. Consistently build. Consistently do your thing. And you will pop just like popcorn. You see, when you put popcorn into the microwave, they tell you, listen, put the bag up, place this flap here, place this flap here. Push popcorn. But if you don't want to burn the popcorn, you're going to go for 3 minutes. Me personally, I don't like pushing that popcorn button. I'm just going to do 3 minutes. And guess what? When I put the popcorn in the microwave, I push 3 minutes. I'm not doing this. 10 seconds go by, I'm going to go ahead and open up Open it. Okay, it ain't working. Another 10 seconds go by. I'm not opening it up. Oh, it ain't popping. 10 seconds go by. Oh, I ain't. If I do that for 3 minutes, nothing will happen. Mm-hmm. It has to be a consistent 3 minutes. Consistency kills criticism. Consistency promotes people. Consistency has you in a situation where you can become who you're supposed to be. Let's say you have to die to who you are to give birth to who you will become. You see, you have to die to be in a seed to now give birth to being popcorn. You see, there's hundreds of different popcorn inside this bag, but they all pop at different times. You got to ask yourself, am I in my space where I'm being consistent? So where when my time comes, I pop. Your time is going to come to pop, but you just got to be consistent. Don't check every 10 seconds, every 10 days. Am I chairman yet? Am I chairman yet? You're going to hit chairman. Just go through your process. Some people's process is in that first 45 seconds. Some people's process in that last minute. Some people process, they don't pop until 2:59. I want to let you guys know that we love you guys. Absolutely. We believe in you guys.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all at the top because the bottom is too crowded.
But we'll never look down on anybody unless we're willing to help them up.
And always remember, believing you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. Good night, everybody. Peace. It's the Woods, baby.
We love y'all.